Have you ever walked into a room full of people and felt like you were speaking a completely different language that no one understood, and no matter what you did or if you did anything, it seemed like you just didn't belong or you didn't fit in? And let me tell you something, it's not because there's something wrong with you. In fact, that feeling might actually be pointing you towards something really powerful. In this video, I'm going to show you why you feel like you don't belong, why this might actually be your biggest strength, your biggest gift, and most importantly, how to finally find a space and the spaces in this world that are meant for you. So if you ever wonder, why don't I ever feel like at home anywhere? Is there something wrong with me? How can I stop feeling so alone? Then I want you to stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll have a completely new way of seeing yourself and your place in the world. This matters to you because feeling like you don't belong is more than just an uncomfortable emotion. It affects everything. It affects your confidence, your relationships, your self-trust, even how you behave in the world. If you always feel like the odd one, it's easy to start thinking that maybe you're just not meant to fit in anywhere. But here's the truth. You weren't meant to fit in. You were meant to stand out. And today I'm going to show you how to embrace that. If you think about it, every visionary, every leader, every artist, every icon in history that we admired at some point felt like they didn't belong. You look at Steve Jobs, a misfit. Oprah, outsider. If you look at Frida Kahlo, rebel, right? They didn't fit in because they were meant to create something new. And so are you. The world doesn't need more people blending in. The world needs you, your unique perspective, your story, your voice. So let's talk about what's really going on when you feel like you don't belong and how to turn that around into your greatest strength. But before, let me take you back to a moment I'll never forget. I was sitting at a dinner table surrounded by people who were supposed to be my people, my friends, my family members, people I'd known my whole life, and yet it felt like I was a ghost. They were talking and connecting, but I was there. I was watching them from the outside. Whatever I was saying felt like they could not understand, like there was no language that was understood. I actually didn't even want to connect in what they were connecting in. Have you ever felt that? Like you could be in a room full of people and still feel completely alone? I know. For a long time, I thought there was something wrong with me. Right? I asked myself, is there something wrong with me? Why do I never feel like I quite fit in? Why do I feel things so deeply and no one seems to care about the things I care about? Am I just too different, too much? And as I was feeling these things, that feeling of isolation kept me shrinking. And I started to, shape myself and mold myself to fit in, to be more acceptable, more like them. And guess what? It didn't work. I still didn't fit in. But then I had a realization that changed everything. I wasn't supposed to fit into a place that was never meant for me. That's when everything started to change. Instead of chasing belonging, I started building it. I sought out people who thought like me, who felt deeply like me and dreamed bigger like me. And when I started owning who I truly was, I became a magnet to the right people. And this is what I want you to hear, all right? You ready? If you feel like you don't belong, it's not because you're broken. It's because you're here to create something new. So let's explore what might be happening at the root. If you've ever felt this way, there are 3 possible reasons why. Number 1, you're growing beyond your environment, right? Sometimes feeling like you don't belong is actually a sign that you've outgrown the space that you're in, your environment. Have you ever been in a conversation and you realize you no longer resonate with what's being said? Well, that's growth. Second reason, you haven't found your true people yet. If you are a deep thinker, if you're a heart-centered leader with big dreams, chances are your people aren't in the most common or obvious places. You have to expand, right? They exist. They do exist. You just might have to go out beyond your usual spaces and environments and communities to find them. The third reason is that you were never meant to fit in a system that wasn't designed for you. Society often tells us that we need to be a certain way to be accepted, but some of us were never meant to play by those rules. If you felt like this since childhood, this is a sign that you're here to create something new, like a new space, a new environment, not just to fit into an old. So I want to share with you how to find your space. So the practical steps is one, you redefine what belonging means. True belonging for me isn't just about fitting in, it's about being fully yourself and being loved for it. Instead of asking, where do I fit? Ask, where do I feel most alive? Where do I feel most alive? Step two is that you follow your resonance, right? What's giving you like that signal of like you've been here before. Pay attention to where you feel most seen, most understood, and start exploring communities, interests, and spaces that light you up, even if they feel unfamiliar at first. And step three, own your difference. Whatever that thing is that makes you feel like an outsider is actually your greatest strength. Own it. Instead of trying to change yourself to fit in, embrace the thing that makes you unique. Step four is to build what you wish existed. Create what you need. If you can't find your people, create a space for yourself. Start conversations, build community, trust that the right people will find you. Be more of who you are. I want you to do something right now. Write in the comments and tell me what's one thing about you that makes you feel different from others. Right? And because I guarantee you somebody might look at that and say, hey, me too. And if you're ready to stop feeling lost and start stepping into the space, the community that's meant for you, make sure to subscribe, because we are building community too. We're doing it here as well, and a community of people who actually get it. So you don't need to change to fit in. You just need to find where you truly belong. Yeah. Sending you my love. Mwah.